Hi, I'm Jim Carroll, and I'm here today to talk about Acumatica ERP. Acumatica is truly a unique product. It's unique because it gives you twice the bang for buck in terms of your investment, because it incorporates industrial strength ERP with the latest technology. My firm is Advanced Solutions and Consulting Company. We've been in this business for a couple decades now and have installed hundreds of ERP packages, and we are extremely excited about this product because it allows us to do much, much more for less, and the result is satisfied customers. I'm going to walk through a number of the features of Acumatica right now and prove to you the benefit of this truly revolutionary product. Acumatica represents a new paradigm in ERP. The benefit is your competitive advantage and the fact that you're going to get twice the return on your investment. We achieve three things with Acumatica. One, we let you take control of your business, play to your strengths, and empower your people. Now, a lot of ERP packages will claim likewise, but with Acumatica, we do a much better job of doing this. So I'm going to start off with a day in the life of a CEO. Perhaps you just got off of a plane, perhaps you're on your smartphone and you're checking in from home or on the road, etc. With Acumatica, you can get up-to-date information. Things like, who owes me money? Or what do I have to take care of today? What do I have to approve today? Acumatica, because of its unique technology, will give you real-time alerts and will allow you to respond in a 7x24 situation to those alerts. So think of it this way. Think of all the times people have to run you down to get your attention, to pay attention to something. With Acumatica, the software does it for you. Therefore, it saves you money. So, now to the product to show you a little demo. So, this is the Acumatica site, and perhaps I just got off a plane, perhaps I'm accessing the system over the internet from home. It's 7x24, and it turns out that I've got to approve some pricing discount for Toy Store. So I simply click on the task that the system generated. I go to the area that is and take a look, and it turns out that someone wants a $1,000 discount on a $25,000 deal. This is a good customer. I take a look at actions, and I say, yep, I'm okay with this, and I create the sales order. And it's that simple. No one had to make me a phone call. No one had to send me an email. None of that. The system does it for me, and that's one of the areas that makes Acumatica unique. Secondly, you notice that when I looked at Acumatica, I had this super duper dashboards. And so this is telling me how much people owe me, items to approve, bills to approve. And these dashboards are visuals of the actual data from throughout the system. And they're extremely easy to create and to augment as time goes on. So perhaps if I'm the CEO and I'm looking over, say, the sales manager's dashboard, and I happen to like the fact that the sales order has got an opportunities chart here that tells me the sales funnel, and I want to be able to drill into those, all I simply have to do is click on the opportunities dashboard itself, go to this little drop down, take a look at it, assign it to myself, and hit the OK button, go back to the Acumatica organization communication, which gives me my dashboards, and there we are. There's that opportunity list that I just created, so now I have that at my disposal, and I can simply place it somewhere on my dashboard that makes sense for me. So the point is, don't have to go to IT to get this type of information. Don't have to make a special request. Don't have to wait a couple of weeks. When data is important to me to help me run my business, I have access to it with Acumatica, and I can make the system work for me. There's much more. So I've been talking a lot about what makes Acumatica unique, and I've got three main things. First of all, it's half the price. Acumatica is server-based. That means unlimited users. and not only users that are internal, but also extending throughout your supply chain to customers and vendors. Acumatica runs on any device, a Macintosh, a tablet, Android, Microsoft, you name it. It's browser-based. We just don't care. Secondly, from the ERP standpoint, this product was architected after 2007. In 2007, two main things happened. One, the iPhone was introduced, and two, there was this HTML5 web services application. It's a fancy name, but basically what it means is that integration is easier among web applications. And that is extremely important because that means that your ERP system can exploit the internet and do it for 1/10 the cost. We'll show you more of that in the demo. But this kind of mobility platform, if you will, allows you to incorporate more applications into Acumatica. And by doing so, you get more bang for your buck. Finally, the cloud, in terms of business applications, kind of came out with Salesforce.com. And they were the front runner, and they proved it to be a very, very viable type of application. However, with cloud, typically you had to rent it, and typically it ran somewhere in the cloud. Acumatica combines the best of both worlds. You can either rent it or you can buy it. And you can deploy it at someone else's site, or you can deploy it in-house. In my experience with small and medium-sized companies, sometimes they've already made a huge investment in personnel and IT infrastructure, and they wish to maintain and go with the traditional perpetual license. You can do that with Acumatica and still realize all the benefits of second-generation cloud technology. So there's a lot more. Acumatica, it's like having a 7x24 no-cost employee. That's where the benefit is. Because it alerts your employees real-time to situations that require their attention and gives them an easy way to access that data and respond, it reduces the scramble mode that you find so much in so many firms. And with less scramble mode, you have things like less overtime. So let's take a look at what I mean by a task or an alert. Okay, so let's go back to Acumatica. This is my sales order screen. And this screen could be on an Android, maybe my salesperson, she's visiting the customer and taking an order. It can be on a Macintosh or a Microsoft Surface at the office, a traditional tower, you name it. So, like most systems, I'm going to go find a customer that I'm selling to. In this case, it's Uniforce. I'm going to go add an item. Notice how you see the latest mobility type icons in terms of adding something. I know that what I want to sell starts off with Go. It's a GoPro, so I just type the first couple letters. The system's smart enough to go in there. It tells me how many I have on hand. This is pretty traditional in terms of later generation ERP, real-time information. But let me show you what's not associated with that, with ERP systems. I order one, it's $429, and the customer says, hey, I'd like a discount. So let's say that, and notice my commission right here is about $22 on this sale. So let's say that I give them a $30 discount. Instantaneously, my commission, which in this case is based on margin, we could have set it up to have it based on sell price, drops down to $6.72. My salesperson may or may not want to do that. If, in fact, my discount is even higher, let's say that I want to up that discount, and I'll give it, instead of $30, $60. What happens then is no commission left on this deal. So my salesman most assuredly may or may not wish to do this. And also, the order itself gets flagged because now I've gone beyond an acceptable margin to the company, and a manager has to approve it. So this was developed by Advanced Solutions for one of our customers. We did it in probably 1/10 of the time. The benefit is, and we were able to do it because I now go to configuration, common settings, organization, communication, tasks. So I go to within Acumatica. Now I've moved from being the salesperson on my Android with my customer to the sales manager at the home office. Up on my taskbar, I notice that there's a requirement for an order approval. I take a look at the order itself. I see that what's required is a discount of 16.4%. It's a little bit larger than I normally approve, but we want to get this new customer. And notice here that I've got a hold on order indicated by this, as well as the customer's restriction. And in this case, this particular customer is going to resell the products, and they need a resale certificate on the system. Anyway, in terms of the demo here, I want to go ahead and override that margin so that I accept it, and I, under security control, have that. And I'll also approve the customer override. And by doing these overrides, that allows me to go ahead and perform the overrides, save and close the order, and now that order will be a process because it's now in an approval state. I complete it, and notice now that my task is gone. So these tasks and alerts provide real-time access to the information and within your entire supply chain, whether it be in the warehouse or purchasing, maybe you've got to approve a deal for a PO over $50,000, that type of thing. The system automatically presents the data to the appropriate person without requirement of additional personnel to do that, and allows you to respond to the daily demands of your business. Another benefit that we talked about that makes Acumatica unique is the fact that the user community, and again, this is unlimited user pricing, extends to other stakeholders like customers and vendors. There's a customer portal. So under secure access, you can have customers go into the system and enter their own orders, like in a B2B fashion. Maybe it's someone that you do business with on an ongoing basis. Therefore, you're going to save money because you don't need personnel to actually retype the orders into the system. The customers can do it. If they're trusted customers, you can give them visibility to online inventory levels. If they're vendors, you can have them ensure that their inventory that's on hand is at the proper replenishment levels. Perhaps you're doing vendor managed inventory, so they themselves can take a look at their product at your site and then make the transfers from their location to your location, etc. A good example of a vendor portal would be for payments. So this is Acumatica. This is a finance area that you might allow trusted customers to go into. It gives them a complete history of the debits and credits associated with their business and allows them to pay. Payments can be online. We've got credit card services that we can show you in a little bit. So the product is extremely powerful in this regard. So far we've talked about the Acumatica and some of its automation features that provide information in real time to various employees as well as customers and vendors. I want to take a moment to step back and reinforce the fact that Acumatica is expansive ERP. So like all of its competitors, it provides a complete full suite of financial, distribution, manufacturing, project, and CRM. One of the benefits is there's a single source of truth, because unlike older systems that take various shipping products or CRM products or maybe their BI tools or their dashboard tools are all interfaced into the CRM package, with Acumatica, it's one contained SQL-based database. So information that you have on prospects and opportunities flows into customers. information that you have on vendors flows into inventory. There is no interfacing that is required, and that makes Acumatica a very, very powerful tool. The benefit in terms of a cost savings is that it reduces significantly your IT costs. It allows you to upgrade more simply. It reduces the G&A that you have of moving data from one system to another system, because with Acumatica, it's done automatically behind the scenes. So when we talk about the benefits of Acumatica in this regard, one of the key features it provides is this comprehensive database. In addition to the comprehensive features in terms of modules of Acumatica, you've also got the fact that it's a feature-rich product. Now, what do I mean by feature-rich? With any ERP system, what it essentially does is it aligns your supply chain activities with your accounting or general ledger backbone. Acumatica does that. Secondly, it's what I like to refer to as multi. And this is a hallmark of a top-tier product, meaning it's multi-currency, it's multi-site, it's multi-bin, it's whatever multi you can think of, Acumatica allows for that. So if you've got different operations and they do buy-sell, all that happens without generating a lot of paper in the background. Its consolidations are wonderful. If you've got 2 or 3 sites, no problem. If you sell direct and you also sell over the internet, no problem. Acumatica is designed to handle the requirements of today's business. It has other things that you might have to pay extra for, like integrated barcoding and warehouse controls. And as I mentioned earlier, it combines the CRM. And the CRM is not only for sales guys soliciting new business, it's also for things like marketing in terms of generating emails to your existing customers and encouraging them on new products or providing them information to keep them engaged with your business. And then finally, it has a case management system or a help desk to it. So you sell the products, those products come back and they need service, or you need customer support. You want to maintain that customer support in a logical way. The Acumatica product provides you the tools to do that, and across that baseline are all those new generation features which allow you to generate the alerts, generate the tasks, etc., do the BI reporting on top of them. Finally, ERP is a tool, and it's a programming tool. And Acumatica is industrial strength technology. My developers tell me that it's just top-notch. When you go to college today, you're going to learn C#, you're going to learn VisualStudio.net, you're going to learn the basics of Windows and SQL, because these are ubiquitous tools in the market. And they are tools that are used for even the Tier 1 type ERP packages. Acumatica incorporates those tools into our package. That's why it can scale to hundreds and hundreds of users. That's why it provides these super integration technologies that used to cost folks big-time bucks, because it's architected with the latest technologies, and that means that your programmers can do the same amount of work in much less time, which translates to savings for you. The final thing I'd like to mention is that Acumatica allows you to incorporate 21st century mobility and web standards. So what do I mean by that? Acumatica embraces the latest technology, and computers that used to cost $250,000 cost $5,000 now. With the internet, everybody can get involved in terms of collaborative work. Additionally, since 2007, there's been web standards that have evolved that allow various programs to interoperate in cost-effective ways that prior to $2,000 just cost a ton of money and don't any longer. Another development in the hardware side is this notion of virtualization, where you can put n number of servers on the same box, tremendous cost savings. And then finally, this idea where whether you're on an Android or a Macintosh or a Microsoft, a big device, a small device, it doesn't matter. you've got this notion of stateless computing where the data can be brought to you. Acumatica takes advantage of all of these. And one of the benefits of this is something called Metcalfe's law. When you think of silos of information and the connections that you get between them, and we've got a diagram here of 100 people and 10 networks, and when you do the math, it turns out that's 450 connections. But when you talk about one network connecting the same 100 people, it turns out there's almost 5,000 connections. And that's the power of the new technology. And when you have a discipline like ERP, interconnectivity is the way that you need. When you talk about ERP, interconnectivity provides massive benefits because instead of paying people to take data from one system and move them to another, or paying people to make phone calls, or waiting a day before someone approves, it gets done in near real time. And so the information is provided to informations and stakeholders among the supply chain in ways that heretofore just wasn't available. So workflow and scheduling is a major thing within Acumatica. And so the benefits of this is again, it reduces the G&A required to fix problems or address opportunities as they come, to manage inventory, you name it. It allows one to manage by exception. We get back to our main focus by employing the scheduling and workflow that's within or baked into Acumatica. It allows you to take control of your business in ways that the older ERP technologies simply did not allow you to do. So back to Acumatica. Acumatica is process driven. So you can provide your users a workflow and flow of data that best optimizes your operations to make you more efficient. So in this particular example, I've got a little icon that drives me right to my vendor page in terms of generating a purchase order. The same flow can drive me to my warehouse. And this is warehouse 1. I can have multiple warehouses in the system. So here, warehouse 2, different items or the same item stored in the different warehouses with visibility to the on-hand balances at each one of them. I can go to my retail operations. Acumatica provides a automatic integration with your shopping carts. It allows you to, we have the integration tools that allow you to align customers and items and prices. Again, this whole notion of one source of data. And by utilizing these integration and workflow tools, allow you to have a channel which is your shopping cart, and yet input all of that information automatically through Acumatica for item fulfillment, order fulfillment, and all of the cost accounting associated with that. So it's a very strong feature within Acumatica, again, utilizing this transaction backbone to empower your business, to allow you to extend it out into all aspects of your business. Another aspect of Acumatica is that baked into the system is a complete online help system. So it follows what's known as wiki standards. Wiki standards is essentially a way, a technology that allows you to go ahead and take these helps and develop them for your own in-house purposes. So you can link diagrams, motion pictures, videos, and the like to support the help system that comes out of the box with Acumatica. When you take a look at what this means is that perhaps you can build tutorials for how one would do a purchase order, or from a workflow standpoint, generate icons and assistance for things like month and year-end closes. All of these can be baked into the system with the tools to allow your people to have at their fingertips a how-to list that's fully integrated with the system. Again, a benefit of lowering the cost of use of your ERP system. As a sidebar, we've got create your own new article here. So earlier we showed you the customer, the vendor portal. So if you want to engage your stakeholders and provide meaningful information, a tech knowledge database perhaps on the CRM side for folks on how to use your product, again, all included, no extra cost, one price with Acumatica. Another benefit to Acumatica and its next generation technology involves reporting and inquiries. And again, you're able to do more with less cost to get the same functions that you do with some of the older systems. In this example, let's talk about Excel. It's ubiquitous. Everybody loves it. Everybody uses it to get data. But Acumatica takes it one step further. If I go into the system and I go back to my dashboards and go to financial dashboards, I've got a section here that I've outlined for reports. So I click on the reports. I go in and I want to look at reports. So let's take a look at some of the reports. And I've got a sales orders and quotes report. So I'll view the inquiry. And it's one of your basic columnar reports. Notice the hyperlink, so if I click on anywhere here, it's going to take me directly to, in this case, order 252, 258, etc. But with Acumatica, I get this nice button that says Export to Excel. So when I export it to Excel, because it's web-based technology, just like the promise of that technology, I'm now outputting to Excel. I get the button that says, do I want to open it or save it? I open it, I enable the editing, and here's the ticket. Within Excel, I can go to Data and Refresh All. And what that does is it dynamically links this Excel spreadsheet to the source data in Acumatica. That means that in the future, without going back into Acumatica, I can click this button and refresh this report with the latest data. So you have a manager, doesn't work with the ERP system, but needs to know the latest on sales orders and quotes. You've got an inventory manager that from home needs to take a look at various valuations. Maybe they're doing an ABC analysis for your cycle counting. They go into this Excel report that's been generated by them, no extra programming cost, push the button, and now I have a dynamically linked, because of web services, tool to Acumatica. Another phenomenal cost savings. I mentioned earlier how Acumatica also includes an integrated CRM system that not only handles sales automation in terms of managing accounts and prospects and opportunities and then converting them into orders, but also does marketing for your mailers to your existing user base and that type of thing, and then has help desk capability. One feature I'd like to point out is that because of this integration, it saves dollars. Because again, Acumatica is extremely inexpensive compared with purchasing an ERP system and then an additional CRM system. Another nice feature about Acumatica is because of these web services and its ability to play to your strengths, you can take emails from your customers. They automatically come to the system and automatically generate a case. So that means that one of your customers has a warranty issue with one of your products. They go to a support URL that you provide them. They generate an email. The email comes into Acumatica, automatically creates a case, and then automatically goes to a support individual in your site's task list. This is hot. So back into Acumatica again. I've got organization, communication, emails incoming. I look at system implementation requirements, and from a Doug Johnson to revision 2, which in this case is the Acumatica, there's a system installation requirement, and they've got something that they need to address. And what this email did was it ended up on a support person's task list in Acumatica. Again, tremendous cost savings. this type of functionality I know is available with other systems, but you're paying an extra $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 to get this feature, which comes standard with Acumatica. Another thing I'd like to point out about Acumatica is this area of document management. Lots of third-party products out there for check-in and check-out, revision control, documents, etc. With Acumatica and its 21st century architecture, it provides this baked into the system. So that means that you can link any PDF file, Excel file, calendar, you name it, to a specific transaction. So that allows you, if you need a certification file or you want to take a scanned image of a purchase order and link it to a sales order that you initiate, or you need a certification from a particular subcontractor on our project system. All of that can be managed within the Acumatica system. And again, it's with the system, therefore, another feature in Acumatica that allows you to strengthen your position, save money, and in this case, take control of your business. So I've talked a lot about how Acumatica represents second generation ERP. And I thought I'd take this slide to kind of go over a quick history of that. MRP started off in the 70s and 80s. It was a hierarchical database with green screens, basic functions like order management and manufacturing capacity management were in separate databases, didn't quite work together, and provided benefit, but wasn't an integrated whole. Then in the 90s, with the advent of especially with the relational database and SQL, you had systems where most of the major production inventory control and accounting functions were in an integrated system. Programming was less expensive. The graphical user interface developed. When we moved to the early 2000s, we had the advent of the cloud and SaaS-based systems. And here, they expanded the ERP footprint because software technology became more productive to use. You had, of course, the graphical user interface and better reporting, but you were still handcuffed in terms of the technology itself being restricted to the four walls, and you were kind of locked in, not kind of, you were locked in with the vendor in terms of you rented the software, and when you were done using it, you really had no access to the data because you had no application to run the data against. Come 2007, new web standards, new mobility features. Acumatica took the best from what was in the past and coupled to that the latest technologies. So then you get this browser-based mobility on any device that you can think of. You can interoperate and include your customers and vendors in your ERP system. You've got these productivity-enhancing notifications and alerts and scheduling tools. You've got these development tools that literally take 1/4 the time to develop complex applications because of the advancements in the software technology, and it's all at half the price. Take a moment to talk about some of the things that we've worked with our customers that Acumatica can do at no additional cost. An order comes in, and a salesperson in the field or a manager gets pinged on their cell phone that the order's been placed. Or you send an advanced ship notice to your customer automatically. Every Tuesday, a report gets generated, and it gets dispatched to a certain amount of people with pertinent information because every Tuesday afternoon there's a company-wide meeting. So everybody's working from the same set of data. You have integrated packaging, so you know that a small box costs $10, a large box costs $15 to ship it from San Francisco to Los Angeles. And this is included with the software. It's not an extra shipping and packaging package that you have to purchase and or rent on a SaaS model and integrate it to your system. the whole document management thing that we discussed, the ability for emails to be input into the system and to generate tasks for your users. And then finally, we're going to talk about other web services in a moment associated with, to give you an idea of the strength of Acumatica. And then finally, I'm going to take a couple minutes now to talk about some of the other developments that we've done with the Acumatica Development Environment. And we call this development environment XRP. You know, and it's got the things that you would expect, like the ability to hide screens and hide fields and link fields or bring data that's on tab 4 to tab 3. You've got gridding so that you can move one column to another, those types of things of that nature. In addition, it allows you very cost effectively to generate specific applications. Earlier in the presentation, we showed you how we had commissioning based on margin versus based on sell price. A good example. And we perform this for other customers, again, about 1/4 the time with the Acumatica tool set. So this XRM development includes technology that is taught at all the major universities throughout the United States at this time. So we reinforce that because an investment in Acumatica means that you have support, people knowledgeable of the basic program, which is C#, and the Visual Studio.net and the SQL database that it runs on. So the benefit to you is reduced IT expenditures. I'm going to give you an example now of a very exciting application where not only developments within Acumatica benefit the tool, but developments in other areas that can improve your business system. And to do this, I'm going to switch over to John Howell. John is one of the founders of Acumatica, and he's going to demonstrate for us how you can use a translation tool in Acumatica.
A cool benefit of web-based applications is they can be very easily integrated with each other. So what this means is that different companies can independently develop apps, yet because of the web standards and things like cheap computing and cheap bandwidth, the applications can be integrated with almost no effort on the part of the end user. No programmers, no IT staff, and so forth. For example, here is an Acumatica screen. On the left is the menu, which we recognize. On the top, we have more navigation choices, and in the middle part of the screen, we have the form itself, displaying the data. My web browser is Google Chrome, and I've already loaded an extension called Google Translate, and you can see the icon right up here in the upper right. So now to show you how the integration works, I can click on this icon, and it will let me now translate into one of over 70 different languages. In this case, I picked Italian. So I can say, translate. Now you can see that very quickly, the screen has been translated, and it's including the menu options over here on the left. So the menu is translated. The choices up here on the top are translated for navigation. Even things like the content of the selections inside of buttons has been translated, as well as this detail here that came from the database. So I'm not actually translating the data itself. I'm just translating what is shown here. So the database remains intact. And of course, I can skim to another record, and the translation will automatically be done if I have the option set that way, or I can have it be done manually. So obviously there are limits to the quality of the translations produced by Google Translate, but the real point here is just to show you an example of things you can easily do with web-based apps that would take tons of work to do otherwise. There are many other examples, of course. Tax calculations, shipping calculations, integrations with CRM, and other business applications.
So thank you, John, for that. That's a great example of how this web applications following these standards that were introduced after 2007 provide tremendous bang for your investment when you look at Acumatica and you integrate it with complementary technologies to enhance your overall business system, your transaction backbone. That function, together with the productivity benefits of the software itself, it provided tremendous advantage for advanced solutions and our ability to serve our customers. So these are some of the things that we've done in the time we've been with Acumatica. We developed an entire price negotiator for a customer that allows the sales guys to achieve discounts within certain brackets and limits. And as they negotiate with the customers, they can see the impact on the margin of the product as well as their commission. We've developed the auto alerts on cell phones that we talked about. We've got a couple of different customers now who outsource their logistics in terms of warehousing. So we need integrations between our system and theirs. And right now we're working on a situation where we're allowing the third-party warehouse to look at Acumatica data in terms of doing ABC analysis and cycle counting to ensure that the system and its count of on-hand inventory is consistent with what's actually in the bins at the third party. For another prospect, we developed a group purchasing organization pricing. Now, this is probably about 40 hours of work to do this. What it does is it allows companies to provide special pricing per customer, per product, which means, and you see this a lot in the electronics and the medical industry, where the original equipment manufacturer offers a special deal to the end user, yet the distributor in the middle, that is essentially a warehouse for the end user, buys the product at the price which is consistent with the manufacturer's suggested retail sell price. But when the end user gets a deal, of course, the distributor's margin gets eroded. So at the end of each month, a report goes back to the original equipment manufacturer so that they can be compensated for this special deal. This was a technology that we worked on. It took us about 20 hours of development. And we figure that to perfect this technology with tools that we were provided with in the past would have taken us 3 or 4 times as long to do this. And we're able to schedule the reports to go back to the original equipment manufacturers automatically. We're able to use a lot of the other functions that we've discussed here in this presentation to even further automate the process of allowing the distributor, in this case, to serve their customers while allowing their customers to realize the benefits of GPO-type applications. Finally, another big thing we did is a lot of QuickBooks users got a point and click to like the Bank of America or Wells Fargo, some of the major banks in the U.S., and ERP systems don't have the level of demand because they simply just don't have the installed base that QuickBooks does. Yet we were able to link into banks, download their banks, and then program the system based on the transaction type to properly get allocated within the financial system of Acumatica. These are some of the examples of cost saving and improvements to the overall business system that we've done for our customers. So I've talked a lot about the benefits of Acumatica, and this is a screen that kind of puts it into perspective. If you look at the feature and the function, the price per user, the price for the portal, alerts, inquiries, integrations, etc., net, they're all included with Acumatica. When you look at ERP products that were developed in the 1990s, in the early 2000s, what you're talking about is writing a spec and doing custom development, investing in third-party products like workflow, implementing difficult-to-maintain interfaces that oftentimes elongate the time that it takes to implement the products, etc. When you look at ERP packages and you look at the success and failure rates, one of the largest areas that is an issue is that of integrating with packages other than the native core package. Acumatica has solved that problem. The other issue, by the way, is training. And with Acumatica's built-in wiki, they've also taken a huge step in terms of addressing that issue to ensure favorable implementations of the ERP. So at the onset of the presentation, we talked about the fact that you get more bang for your buck with an investment in Acumatica. And when you look at the traditional return on investments for ERP packages, typically they can be divided into hard savings where you actually save money on costs, and then soft savings or other tangible benefits like improved sales. So this slide points out the typical areas where one can realize savings on the hard side, things like reducing full-time equivalents because the system automates many functions that today, like duplicate data entry or checking or moving data from one spot to the other or making phone calls to customers that can be done with automated processes. The benefit of Acumatica. The other thing is that when you have a system that runs a harmonious operation and you provide real-time data to folks, you get real-time approvals, everybody's working from the same choir book, song sheet, etc., that means less scramble mode. Less scramble mode translates into less overtime. It translates into less shipments to customers where the supplier bears the cost of the freight because they missed the shipment. It results in less chargeback issues because one is running a more functional business. When you can manage your business by exception rather than having to deal with the drudgery day in and day out because you have an effective ERP that helps you do that, you get plenty of benefits. We haven't spoken too much about the financial side. Acumatica is a full-featured financial package, but when your operations go better and you've got emails going out to customers, you can manage your inventory a little bit better. That means your day sales outstanding typically drops down. Therefore, the carrying costs do it. And then finally, we've spoken about how Acumatica is a software tool. And software tool requires IT support. And as a function of Acumatica providing the latest generation technology, those support costs just go down. The handmaiden of all those cost savings are that you get better benefits. If you're worrying less about maintaining administration, you can focus more on selling. Typically, that means sales go up. When you've got better clarification on where your costs are, you can fine-tune and drive in and ensure focus on higher margin business so that your profits go up. When you've got a tool that provides better decision-making, that means that you can generate better purchases and spend time on the vendor side generating better deals, and then, of course, looking at those markets that generate you the best advantage. So, a twofold thing: reduce cost, increase your competitive advantage. On the financial statement sheet, this is where an investment in Acumatica manifests itself. So, income statement on the left, balance sheet on the right. The areas in green are where you get improvement. The areas in red are where you get reductions. And in the end, the benefit is more profit and better retained earnings. So we'll be happy to talk about this with you at length, but this has been our experience with well-run ERP packages, and the tool that Acumatica has can provide this benefit to its users. So this is why Advanced Solutions chose Acumatica. It offers the best ROI for our customers. We're a disciplined group at Advanced Solutions. We're process-driven in terms of our implementations. We work to a budget, and what we found is that Acumatica allows us to work, benefits us on our side because of the predictable software and the ways that we can configure it to meet our customers' needs. And then finally, we've got a mid-market focus. We typically deal with firms from 20 to about 250 million in size. Acumatica can scale up to $1 billion easily because of the tools and technology that it uses. But this tool allows us to take our experience that we've honed in over the past couple of decades and apply it to the mid-market. We've talked a lot about the benefits of the Acumatica product. Now let's a little focus on Acumatica itself. It's a leader in the ERP space because of its financial solvency, the personnel at Acumatica, and of course its product. Per the Nucleus is one of the industry pundits. They've got their 4-quadrant, and just over the last year, Acumatic is moving into a leadership role, which is somewhat unheard of for a company that's only been around for a few years, as is the case with Acumatica. But the strength of its product and its people are what puts it there. It's had tremendous success in terms of growth, year over year, awards that it's won, revenue growth, because people, when they take a look at the technology, realize it's something special. Want to point out a little bit earlier, you heard from John Howe, who's one of our founders back in 2008. Sergey and Mike are also individuals who have had 20, 30 years experience in the ERP space, and they designed this product to address all of the shortcomings of previous ERP products and put control of ERP in the end user or customer's hands, and we feel strongly that we've achieved that goal. Our customers come from the supply chain and distribution and manufacturing, a ton in the professional services area. We have a fantastic financial services package or financials offering, so we've got a lot of installs in not-for-profit and health organizations. And then lots of features we haven't talked about, but for those folks that are involved with intellectual property and the like, great revenue recognition technologies. So we've had a high degree of success in the high tech, the software, and marketing services area. So why Acumatica and Advanced Solutions and Consulting Company, or ASC, my firm? Our goal is to offer the best ERP for the customer's ROI. And we found that with Acumatica. We have a proven implementation process that is process-driven, process meaning we take a look at receipt of inventory or month-end close or the things that one goes about in generating the transactions that represent the core of ERP. And we performed a budget on these implementations. And Acumatica has been a breath of fresh air in terms of our ability to really fine-tune and hone in and provide value to our customers in terms of rapid implementations that meet their needs, sometimes involving rather complex processes. So our team is extremely experienced, and we have a mid-market focus, and that correlates to Acumatica. We were founded in '98. We've got over 300 ERP implementations when you take a look at our team. So we know the industries that I just discussed. We're experienced at not only the application side, but we know the programming languages and the platform technologies. And again, one of the reasons that we bet on Acumatica, if you will, is because it is industrial strength technology for ERP, which is required. We're not talking about, a bunch of ASP.NET on websites here. We're talking about core functionality, core product that's required to run a true enterprise resource planning system. And we found that in Acumatica. And that it was a tool that could allow us to achieve our customer satisfaction function and a tool that would allow us to achieve the growth plans that we have for the company. This is a representative firm, and we're going to end on this. This is a company that contracts its manufacturing out. So for the most part, its operations are as a distributor, yet it's got a pretty strong relationship with its vendor. It sells on the phone and it sells over a website. It's got a help desk with a CTI system in terms of, and it's got a third-party warehouse situation. So Acumatica, with its single database and its web-based tools, are able to integrate this into one whole harmonious offering, one system. This firm had a lack of knowledge in terms of where it was really making its money. It was successful, but at the end of the day, it took all its revenues, it's all its costs, its payroll, did a subtraction and said, hey, we've got money in the bank. Didn't really know where specifically they were achieving, where their strengths were and where things needed improvement. And with Acumatica, we were able to provide them with the tools to achieve this. We'd love to talk more about you, about our capabilities and those of Acumatica. Thank you very much.